Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone. Hope everyone has been keeping well. So, so today I'll be starting the chapter on surface area and volume. So that's the question number 9 in your past paper 2, part B. Paper 2, part B, the question number 9. So we're doing chapters based on that. So I'll be covering. So basically, it's in your chapter in grade 10. It's your chapter 29. So 3 chapters combined is how you get that question. And grade 11, chapter 4 and 5. So all these 3 chapters come under that question number 9. So it's either 2 shapes of any one of the 5 that you learned. So you have prism, cylinder, and sphere as well. Okay. So is there any questions that I want to ask before I start the chapter? Okay. So y'all can unmute your mic or send the chat in the chat box. Anything is fine with me. And if y'all have any doubts in between the session, please feel free to interrupt me. I don't mind at all. Okay. So we also have, so in your paper 1, part A, you have a 2-mark question based on this chapter. And then in your paper 2, like I said, it's a 10-mark question. So it's completely on your hands to choose it or not choose it. Okay, so we'll start then. Okay, so the first shape that we're going to cover is cylinder. Okay, so if we take a cylinder, so it's going to look like this. A cylinder is something like this. So you have a circle on top and a circle on the bottom. So you have 2 circles, and this shaded area here is surrounding the 2 circles. So it's wrapping around the corners of the circle. So if you want to spread it, it's going to look exactly like a triangle. So then to get the area of this, so if I mark my height as h, and if I have the radius as r, so remember the perimeter of a circle? A full circle. So that's basically the circumference of a circle. What's it going to be? We've already learned it's 2 pi r. So that's going to be this entire length is 2 pi r. So since the rectangle covers this entire length, which is the longer side of the rectangle, this length is going to be 2 pi r. And then this is your height. So you can see it's going to be this portion as your height. Okay, so that's done. So we found one shaded part. Yeah, so usually how I start my session is I go on to discuss the theory first based on the question that I'm discussing, past paper question. And then we do a short Kahoot quiz based on the lesson that we do. And then lastly, we discuss past papers. That's the last thing that we do. Okay. Okay, so then we found the area of this shaded part. So now we found the area of the longer part. We have these 2 circles on top. So what's the area of a circle? You've already learned this in grade 10. So area of a circle is pi. I didn't finish this. So then here, what's the area of a rectangle usually? It's length into breadth. So length and breadth. So 2 pi r h. And so now the circle part, you have two circles, one on the top and one on the bottom. So area of a circle is pi r square. Since you have two circles, it's going to be 2 pi r square. So the total area of this entire cylinder is going to be 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi h. So I broke this figure into two parts, into the circles and into the curved surface area. So curved surface area is referred to this portion here, which is the curved surface area. And usually your paper 1 part A questions, the short answer questions, mostly come with cylinder. So it's important that you memorize the equation. Even if you don't memorize, just understand the figure itself. So like how I told you, this is the circumference of a circle. That's the length. You have the height of the cylinder. That becomes the breadth. Then it's a rectangle. You already know length into breadth, 2 pi r h. Then you have two circles on top, 1, 2. What's the area of a circle? You already know. It's pi r squared. Since you have two circles, it's 2 pi r squared. Sometimes in your question, what they do is they say, I have a cylinder, but it does not have a lid. So what does it mean by it does not have a lid? There is no covering on top. There is no second circle. So what does that mean if there's no second circle? You're not going to have a 2 pi r squared. You're only going to have pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Did everyone understand the equation of area for a cylinder? Okay, so then we'll just move on to a question. So again, they can ask you this question in many different ways. So when you look at the equation, it's 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So you have only two unknown terms. What are the unknown terms? R and h. So they can either give you so what they can do is they can give you the volume, the area of the curved surface area, and maybe the height. So using that, so let's say 2 pi r h is equals to, let's say it's, okay, so let's say your 2 pi r h is equals to 660, and they give you, so the curved surface area is equals to 660, and they give you that the height is, let's say, 15. So h is equals to 15, and they're asking you to find the whole surface area of a cylinder. So what are the unknown terms? H and R, the height and the radius. So by giving you the surface area of the curved surface area, the area of the curved surface area, you can find R because H is given. So when you find R, you can use it in this equation, find the area of the circles on top and bottom, and then add it to the curved surface area. So they can give you this question in many different ways. As long as you know the equation, alhamdulillah for you, you can get the answer right. And a little bit of solving your multiplication. But anyway, remember, this pi is usually 22/7. So they always give you multiples of 7. So your radius might be 14 or it will be 7. And your height also is always easy numbers for you to calculate. So as long as you simplify it correctly, your answer will be correct, inshallah. Okay, so we'll just do one example. So let's just solve it like this. So let's say I have my curved surface area as 660 and the height is 50. So then my 2 into over 7 into R, which we don't know, and H is 15, is equals to 660. So now I'm going to subject R, and I'm going to bring all of these other numbers to the other side. So R is equals to 660 into, so remember the ones at the bottom as the denominator, when you take it to the other side, becomes multiplication. The ones on the top, when you take it to the other side, it becomes as division. So it goes down. So then 660 into 7 is equals to 2 into 22, 2 into 22 into 50. So now we'll simplify. So 66, you can divide it by 22. So when you divide both 66 and 66, yeah. When you simplify, R is equals to 7, you're right. So 66, when you divide it by 22, you get 30. So the 0, 22 gets cancelled. 30, you can divide it by 15. It becomes 2. 2, when divided by 2, you get the final answer as 7. Oh, also, I forgot to mention the unit. So let's say this is centimeter squared. Whenever you find radius, height, or area, remember the unit. You get 1 mark for the unit. Unit is important. So centimeters. So now you found the curved surface area. So what is the question here? To find the surface area of the entire cylinder. So let's say the cylinder has 2 pi r squared. It has both the circles on top. So then 2 pi r squared. So 2 into 22 over 7 into 7 into 7. Cancel the 7. So here finally you get 2 into 22 is 44. 44 into 7 is 154. Here it's not centimeters, it's centimeter square. So now the total area is going to be 154 plus 660, which gives you 900. 1 second. Wait. 22 is 44. 44.7 is not 154. 44 into 7 is double of that. So it's 308. This is 308. So then 308 plus 660. So 869 centimeter square. So usually in your O-level paper, cylinder comes, again, I'm just reminding you all, it comes a lot. So you have to understand cylinder a lot and prism or sphere. Okay, is that understood? Okay. Okay, so then we have, so let's move on to the volume next of the same shape. So volume of cylinder. So volume of a cylinder. So again, volume. So volume of a cylinder is easy. So the volume is going to be the cross section. So here the cross section of this shape is the circle. So the area of a circle, the area of the circle. So one circle, we're not taking the whole circle. So this area of a circle. And if you have the height as h, and let's say r here, then it's area of circle into the height. It's simple as that. Volume of the paper, you're asking, give you the equation. No, they don't give you the equation in your O-level paper. So that's why you have to memorize the equation. So usually that question comes as you have to prove this is the value, and then you have to continue to solve something. So for that, they never give you the equations. So any of the equations that you learn, you'll never get it. You have to remember it by yourself. So in that's how it is for all wells. Okay. So the volume is as simple as this. Is it for both papers. So it's not for your paper 1, I think. In your paper 1, I don't think they give you, but in paper 2, I think they give you. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, correct. So for paper 2, they give you. So for paper 1, they don't. So either way, you still have to memorize it. Because in your paper 1, they don't give it to you. Yeah. Yeah, so paper 2, it's usually volume that comes. And in paper 1, it's usually area. Usually it's area. So it's anyway, I think it's best if you memorize it either way. So in case, and plus it's easier for you, you don't have to go back to the question of the paper and waste time searching for it. Okay, so then we've done the area of a cylinder and now it's the volume of a cylinder. So volume of a cylinder is area of a circle. So what's the area of a circle? Pi r squared. And what's the height? It's h. And remember volume, the equation, let's say this is centimeters, it's going to be centimeter cube. So here you get centimeter squared because it's area. The height, you have another centimeter. Centimeter squared into centimeter, you get it as centimeter cube. So volume a cylinder. So again, this question, what's our unknown term? It's just pi r squared h. This is our volume. So the unknown terms, again, it's r and h. So again, in your question, oh, I have been unmuted all this while. Which again, the volume. Okay. So the volume of a cylinder. So if you have a cylinder, so the volume, usually it's centimeter cube or any meter cube, kilometer cube, whatever. It's going to be cube. Usually in your volumes, mostly it's cross section and a height is h. And let's say you have radius r. So usually in volumes, it's cross section into height. So even in prism, it's the same thing. It's cross section into height. So here the cross section shape is a circle. So what is the area of a circle? You already have learned this. It's pi r squared. So whenever you have pi r squared is area of a circle. So area means, let's say this is centimeters. The unit is going to be centimeter squared into cross section into height. So height is here. And then centimeters is the unit. Height means centimeters or meters. Here it's centimeters. So when you multiply, you get pi r squared h. Centimeter squared into centimeters gives you centimeter cube. The unit is cube. So either it can be centimeter cube or meter cube. Did you understand that, Surya? Okay. So again, in this equation, what are your unknown terms? Unknown terms. Your unknown terms are R and H. So R and H are your unknown terms. So again, just like how previously we had a question where they asked you R after giving you the area, same thing they can do here. So let's say it's pi r pi r squared h. So this is our equation. Remember, it's area into height, area of a circle into height. Here also what they can do is, they can give you, let's say the area of a circle, let's say area of circle is, let's say it's, let me just take a value. Let's say it's 616, yeah, centimeter squared. So they have given you the area of a circle and they have given you the height as 20. So now what they're asking you is R. No, they're not asking you R. That's short. They're asking you the full, I know, that's also direct. Okay, let's say they're asking you R. So if they're asking you R, they have given you here the area of a circle only. So this H here is also can be taken as unnecessary. You don't even need this. Because remember, area of a circle is only this portion, pi r squared. So using that itself, you can find the area of not area of circle, you can find r. Because here they have given you area of a circle. In your equation of volume of a cylinder, you have two broken parts. One is the area of a circle and one is the height. The height, you don't even need to answer this question. You can simply directly use pi r squared is equals to 660. So sometimes, usually they don't, but they can give you values that are very unnecessary. You don't even need to use. Or if you find a short form that you don't have to use it also, don't use it. Because the more numbers that you have, the more chances of you making mistakes it is. So pi r squared here is 16. So pi 22 over 7 into r squared is equals to 616. So r squared is equals to 616 into 7. This goes up, this comes down, divided by 22. So 616. Okay, so we'll divide it in- okay. You want me to explain this question again? Okay, without finishing it, I'll start again. Okay, so the question was, okay, so remember our equation, pi r squared h. How did we find this equation of volume for cylinder? It's area of a circle, which is this part, area of a circle, which is this part, and h is the height into the height. Now the question is, find the radius. Question mark is for radius. If they have given you your area of a circle is circle area is equals to 616 centimeters square. And they have just given you the height, which is 20. So in your equation, the volume equation, remember your broken parts. It's area of a circle which you know is pi r squared into the height. They have given you the circle area as 616. So instead of using the whole equation to do a long method there, you can directly use circle's area, which is pi r squared. So they have given you circle area, which you know the equation as pi r squared. They have given you it as 616 centimeters square. Did you understand this? Understood. Okay. Okay. So now what is your unknown term here? We have to find r. So again here, this x was completely unnecessary. They just gave it for no reason. You don't have to use it if it's not necessary. Remember, they have given you circle's area. This equation is made up of a circle's area and the height. So circle's area is pi r square is equals to 616. So pi is 22 over 7 into r square, which is equals to 616 centimeter square. So you can leave the unit if you want and come back to it later. So 616. So r squared is equals to 616. Below the denominator goes up, above the denominator goes down. You flip the fraction. Yes. R is equals to 14. You're right. 616 into 7 over 22. So let's simplify it slowly. So since 22 and 16 both are even numbers, best thing to do is divide both up and down by 2. So if you divide 616 by 2, it's 308. 22, if you divide it by 2, it's 11. Now just check if 308 is divisible by 11. If you do, check it, divide it by 11. It is true. It's 28. You can divide 308 by 11. So which is 22. Sorry, 28. So 28 into 7 is 196. So in your O levels, they won't give you big numbers for you to square root. This is 14, but in your O levels, they won't give you big numbers. It will usually be numbers between 1 to 10. So that square root numbers you have to know. 1, 4, 16, 25. All of that you have to know. But they won't give you numbers beyond that. So you don't have to worry about big numbers like that. So here you have to square root. So your answer will be, yeah, they give hints. If it's big numbers, they give you hints. So they will, yeah. So for that, it shows you the answer that you have to get. So if you don't get to use that number that they have given, so let's say they might tell you square root of 196 is 14. Or they will give it to you other way around. 14 square is equals to 196. If you don't get any of these numbers, your answer is wrong. You have to go back and check it. Because if they give you the hint, somewhere this number should be there. If it's not there, you have to recheck your answer because it is completely wrong. That's why you are not getting that answer itself. Okay, no problem. Okay. So then now we've covered the volume and area of a cylinder. Did everyone understand how we got the volume and, sorry, the area and volume of a cylinder? Do you all have any more questions to ask based on cylinder, the shaped cylinder? So don't have questions. Then we'll move on to the next shape. Okay, so the next shape is prism. So a triangular prism specifically. Okay. So what does a triangular prism looks like? It's something like this. Okay, so you have a triangle and you have another goes like this and it connects there again. Okay, something like that. Okay, so one triangle in the front and another triangle in the back. Same thing like a cylinder, two shapes, two triangles. And here again you have three rectangles. Why is it three rectangles? Because the shape of a prism is three-sided because it's a triangular prism. It's three-sided. So you have one triangle here, and then you can see the bottom triangle, this one, not triangle, rectangle. This rectangle here, which is second, and this one here, the one which is back that you can't see because of the way I've drawn. So you have totally three rectangles and two prisms. So again, we've broken down the parts of the triangular prism. So now you already know these shapes are known. You know the area of a triangle, you know the area of a rectangle. So break it down. So what's the area of a triangle? Half into base into height. Here you have 2, so into 2. So you can simplify this 2. So it's simply base into height. Or sometimes half into base into height. Yeah. Then you have base into height. So here, okay. Then you have the area of the rectangle. So rectangle, sometimes it can be a little tricky. Why? Because the length is going to be the same, this part. This long one is going to be the same for all three. Sometimes what can change is this. So you know you have types of triangles, right? You have isosceles, scalene, and equilateral. So if it's a scalene triangle, all three will have different lengths. If it's an equilateral triangle, then you're safe, completely safe. All have the same length. But if it's a isosceles, only two sides have, and one is not the same. So if it was an equilateral triangle, it's just going to be base into, let's say, I can't say base into height again. So let's just take this as A and this as length. So length into A is one rectangle. If you have three rectangles with the same, with this as the same, then it's going to be into 3. So this again, you have to understand the shape. There's no specific, so this is fine, but the rectangle, you have to check. If this has one length, let's say this is A, and this is B, and this is C. So then you're going to be doing it as A into the length plus B into the length plus C into the length. Why? Because all these three lengths are different for each rectangle. Did you understand why you have to have different, you may have different base breadths for the rectangles? Did everyone understand that? Okay. So based on the question, you have to answer. Just understand how the shapes are formed. It's area, right? So you know area. So here, so here, remember the shapes? You have one triangle here, another triangle here. You know the equations. They will give you the perpendicular height. You don't have to worry about that. So then you know the area of a triangle, half into base into height. You have two triangles. Therefore, I multiplied by 2. So in the end, you can simplify and write it like this. Or you can keep it like this and then cut and simplify it later if you want, depending on how you want to do it. Only problem here is the rectangles. You have to be very careful of that. Check the lengths of the triangles. So if your triangle lengths are all the same, Amazing. You just have to multiply one triangle, one rectangle into 3. But if it's different lengths, you have to make sure you do each rectangle separately and add the areas together. Did everyone understand that? Okay. Okay. So that is that. So how they can give you this is, so they can tell you, so the prism has, so let's say the triangular prism has, let's say the length is 10, okay, 10 centimeters, and they're showing you the picture of the triangle, and they're saying here this is 10, 10, and 12, okay, and this perpendicular height, they're giving it to you as, let's say, 8, okay, so they're giving you this perpendicular height as 8, and they're asking you to find the area of this triangular prism. So remember, let's start from the beginning. So we have two rectangles. Sorry, not two rectangles, two triangles. So triangles means half into base into height. Since we have 2, I'll just multiply it by 2. So half into base here is, here this is the base, 12 into height, they have given 8 into 2. So here, just simplify. You can just cancel the 2's here and just multiply 12 into 8. You get 96. Don't forget the unit. So let's say here it's centimeters. So centimeter squared. It's area, so centimeter squared. Then you have rectangles. So here you can notice it's an isosceles triangle. Two sides have the same length, one doesn't have. So then you can multiply one side 10, 10 into the length, which is 10. So 10 into 10. Since you have two sides the same, here these two are same, you can multiply this by 2. Multiply that by 2 plus the remaining side, which is 12 into 10. 12 into 10, and then you can find your answer. So 10 into 10 is 100. 100 into 2 is 200. 12 into 10, 120. So then here you have 320. Again, don't forget the unit. 320 centimeters square. So now you have the area of the rectangle separately and the triangle separately. So then add both. 320 plus 96 is equals to 416 centimeters square. The final answer, especially don't forget the units. That's like very important. Did you all understand how this question might come? Okay. So now, so we finished the area. Now we're going to the volume. Again, how exactly the same as how your cylinder was. Even your prism, its cross section into my triangle. Okay, its cross section into the length. So previously, what was a cross section shape in your cylinder? Your cross section was a circle in your cylinder, and you multiplied by the height. Here, your cross section is a triangle. So cross section, which is your triangle, into your length. So cross section area is what? It is, there is no height here. Okay, so if you take a look at this shape, it's horizontal. It's a horizontal shape. It's the length. It's a flat object. In comparison to your cylinder, See, your cylinder looks like this. Even if you want to see where your cross section is, so if you want, you can flip this cylinder. It can be this way. So if your cylinder is like this, your cross section is this, and it's going to be the length. So here it's length. But if I flip it, you just call it height, because height means it's vertical, but length is horizontal. That's why it's just two different names. So even the prism, you can put it that way, no problem. Take it like this. Look something like this. Oops. I don't know, something like this. Okay. So what's your area? Cross section is this. The length is going to be this. So you don't have to call it length. You can call it height. No problem. Okay. Okay. It's just the name. Don't worry about that. Just take it as whatever you feel like you're comfortable with. Just take it as it is. Okay. Cross section, the shape here is a triangle into your length. Okay. Cross section length. So here is centimeter squared, since it's area, centimeters. Totally you'll get centimeter squared. So here cross section of your rectangle, sorry, not rectangle, triangle, half into base into height into length. So here half, base, height, length. So here the height is this one, this perpendicular height here, that's H, and this is B, and this length. Did everyone understand? Yeah, okay. So now we've covered two shapes, cylinder and prism. Okay, so let's check if you all remember. So in your cylinder, what's your area? If you all can open your mic also, it's fine. I'm not sure you can type pi in your this thing. What's the area of a cylinder? Remember, two circles and the curved surface area. Can anyone tell me? No one? Okay, I'll write it myself. Area is, remember, it's two circles. Yeah, correct. 2 pi RH and pi r square. So this is 2 pi RH. Remember, 2 pi RH plus you have two circles. So 2 into area of a circle, pi r square. Nice. Then volume. What's the volume? What's the volume of a cylinder?
Pi r square h.
Pi r squared h. Correct. Why is it pi r squared h? It's the area of the cross section, which is the circle. So therefore, it's pi r squared, and you're taking the length. So multiplying by the length. Therefore, it's pi r squared h. Okay. Hopefully, everyone remembers it. Yeah. Then we come to the prism. Okay, same thing. Oh, prism area is a little annoying, but so this one I'll just tell you. So let's say this is L, B, not B, H, and the height. So area of the three triangles plus, not three triangles, two rectangles plus the area of the three rectangles. So two triangles, no problem. You only have to worry about the rectangles depending on the lengths here. Okay, everyone, don't forget that. Depending on the lengths here, you have to worry about it. Then tell me the area, volume of volume. What's our volume going to be? Remember, same as cylinder and prism. It's the cross section into the length or height.
Half into BHL.
Correct. Half BHL. Amazing. Hopefully everyone like got into their heads by now. Is it easy now? Did you understand? Is there any questions? Okay, nice. Okay, so we are done with two shapes now, cylinder and prism. So always, so far in your past papers, your paper one part A, your paper one, okay, your paper one part A, the 2 mark question comes based on these two shapes, okay, and usually it's your area. Usually it's the areas. So it's important that you remember, especially this one. Remember that. So for your 2 mark question, if you can just get that 2 mark question, amazing. Alhamdulillah. So this is just one chapter, 2 marks, and then you have another 10 marks that is you usually on volume. Okay. So in your O-level questions, the question is usually not very direct. So they'll give it to you in different ways. So let's say how the question in your O-level comes is they don't directly give you just here is your area, find the radius. No, they tell it you in very different ways. So they're telling, so let's say your area of a triangular prism, okay? Area of okay. So one question in your past paper, it's very direct. They're giving you the area and the height, and they're asking you the radius. So they can ask you direct questions, or they can ask you indirect questions. Okay. So let's do this. So let's say you have okay, so they're saying your triangular prism has 300 or 330. Let's say 616 centimeters square. That's the volume area. No, sorry, this is the area of your prism. They're saying a cylinder of equal height has the same volume. Find its radius. Equal height. Find its radius. So volume is what? Here it's pi r squared h. A cylinder of equal height. So, oops, I forgot to mention something. It's triangular area. A prism has, just give me 1 second. So here they have given you the prism's triangular area. So what's the triangular area? It's this. Oh, they are telling you the triangular area is 616. Okay, is 616, and the prism and cylinder have the same height. So that's what they're saying, and they're asking you to find the area, the radius of the cylinder. So let's start. Okay. So remember the triangular area 616, and what's okay? So this is the volume of this, and the volume of this is half into half BHL. And here what they are saying is these two are the same. This, they're saying this and this is the same. And they are also telling us the volume is the same. Volume of both the prism and the cylinder is the same. So that means if the volumes are same, see this volume is equal to this volume, you can equate it as pi r squared h. So here they said both are L, so I'll mark it as L here. So pi r squared L is equals to half BHL. Did everyone understand how I came to this? Okay. Then here you can see L is common on both sides. So you can cancel. And remaining you have pi r squared is equals to half BL. Okay. What's half BL? They have given you the triangular area is half BL. So here, whenever you find half BL means half is the base into height. They have given it to you as 616. So therefore, pi r squared is equals to 616. We got this equation before also. So r squared into 22/7 is equals to 616. Therefore, r squared is equals to 616 into 7/22. And then here, when you simplify, we got this question, same question before, similar. 196, you get it as 14 centimeters. So here again, they didn't ask you directly. They compared it to you and they gave it to you. They said the heights are the same and they told you the volumes are the same. So you can equate the volume equation and then simplify it then. Did you understand how this question works? So you have to remember the equations and then figure out how they're asking the questions. They don't directly ask you the question. It's best as you open the paper, like when you see this question, jot down your equation on these two shapes, jot down the equation. So you need the volume as well as the area. Jot it down so that you don't have to think about it. When you have to think about the equation itself, you forget what they are asking. So first get rid of that, write the equation on the paper, and then figure out what they're trying to ask. Understand what is common. So here they literally said volume same. Volume same means you can equate it because the volume is equal. Then they're saying the length is the same. So then this gets cancelled. Then they have given you half BL. So half BL is the triangular area. So how did you find that? Remember, it's made up of triangles. So half into base into height, which is the area of a triangle. Equate it, and then you got pi r square is equals to 616, and then you simplify it further. So this is the usual type of questions that come in your O-level paper. And it's usually these two shapes with the area and the volume that come in your paper 1 part A, which is for 2 marks. Did everyone understand it? Okay. Mm, okay. So then now since we are done with these two, we'll move on to the Kahoot. So does everyone have a separate device or that y'all can use or in the same device itself? Same device, separate device. Because if it's the same device, okay. So one question is taken from here, which I've already discussed just now. You can just get that answer right. But the other question, you will have to work it out by yourself. Can everyone see my screen? I think there's 9 of you. So for those of you who don't know how to use it, just go to www.kahoot.it and then they'll ask you for a game pin. So put this game pin 259279 and then they'll ask you for your name. You can write your name. Start. Hopefully everyone can be quick about it. So the questions you'll be able to see it on your device itself. So even if you're using a separate device or you're using the same device that you're on the Zoom meeting link, it will be fine because you'll be able to see the question. Send the link of what? So it's send the link of the yeah, I've sent it www.kahoot.it in the chat. Yeah. So if anyone's using a separate device, you can just scan that QR code visible on the screen. That's also faster, whichever way you're using. So I'll start at 10:35 with how many people are there. If all 9 are not attended, I'll start with 10:35 in other beginning late. Okay, so if you So this is a time-based uh so time-based game. So the faster you do it, the more points you get. And if you don't uh do it, just skip to the next question. No, I won't be sharing any questions in the screen. It will be visible in your own screen. On your own device, it will be shown. So you can use the same device that you're in the meeting itself. You don't have to leave. I don't think that's necessary. One more minute and I will start. Okay, so I'll start with whoever's here. So hopefully you have another piece of paper for you to work out the question. So the first question, I think I just discussed it. The rest of you can join in the middle also. So the code is 251. That's the code 259279. So in www.curve.it, you can just join in the middle. So here indirectly they're telling you that the volume is the same indirectly. And they've also indirectly told you the height of the prism. So they're not directly asked you, they indirectly told you. So basically, indirectly they have told you the volumes of both the shapes are the same. So this is a direct question. So this is based on the curved surface area of a cylinder. Also note its diameter here is 14. Note that. So remember your equation, it's radius, not diameter. Just a reminder, diameter is twice of radius. Just to remember. So here in this game, the faster you are, the more points you get. So far, everyone's got all the answers correct. So everybody pick up. So here they're saying two cylinders have equal height, but one has radius 10 with a certain volume, whereas the other has 4 times the volume of the one with radius 10. They're asking you the radius of the volume of the second one. So here using the volume equations of a cylinder, you're comparing two. One has 10 centimeter as radius with a certain volume, whereas the other has 4 times its volume, but you want to find the radius. So here you have to compare. So they're saying a cylinder's curved surface area is 4 times its base area. So that means the area of a circle, sorry, the area of the curved surface is 4 times the area of the circle. And then using that, so you'll have your equations now compared. So then compare the radius and the height. This question is similar to the previous one. So using the curved surface area, you're comparing it to the base area. And here it's the other way. They're telling you that the height of the right cylinder is 3 times the radius. They're asking you how many times greater is the area compared to the base area. So it's the other way around. Okay, so that was the last question that we had. Yay, amazing. So these were past paper questions. So that means all of you really understood the past paper questions because I think majority of you got all of it right. So that means now you can do past paper questions. Plus, the only thing here is time. So the time that I've put here is double the time that you would use to do your O-level questions. So in your O-level questions, you should minimum take, 2 minutes, but here it's 4 minutes. So the only thing you'll have to work out is time. Yeah, congratulations. Okay. So then we'll move on to the next part. Okay. So if someone asks a question, I'll just work this out. So it says two cylinders have equal heights. Okay, so height is same. Height is same. One has one has okay. Two cylinders have equal heights. One has radius 10. Okay, the other has 4 times its volume. So 4 times its volume. 4 times its volume is the other one. So this is one, this is the other one. So they're telling us to find the radius of this one. So what's the equation of volume? It's pi r squared h. Okay. So they are saying both have the same height and one is 4 times its volume. So 4 times its volume means 4 times its volume. 4 pi r squared h. Okay. Yeah. And then they are saying the height is the same. So height, same. Pi cancels. Both you have. Then the remaining you have r squared is equals to 4r. And here this one's r is 10. So 10 squared is equals to 4r. So 100 is equals to 4r. Therefore, r is equals to 100 divided by 4, which is 25. Did you get 25? Or did I miss it? The answer was 20, wasn't it? Then I might have messed up the... Let me just check this. Oh, I put it. So the R should go in the same. Sorry about that. These two are one same cylinder. Two cylinders have equal heights. One has radius 10 centimeters, another has 4 times its volume. 4 times its volume. Okay, I made a mistake there. It says 4 times its volume. Okay, so then here it's so both. So pi r squared h. One is 4 times, the other one is just once. The one with the 4 times only has 10 as the radius. So these gets cancelled. And then you have 4 into 10 squared. All right. Yeah. 4 into 10 squared is equals to r squared. So 4 into 100, which is r squared. So 400 When you square root, you get it as 20. So this is how you do it. So yeah, the question itself is confusing, which one has what, but the understanding that's easy, I think. So here it says two cylinders have equal height. So that means the height gets cancelled. Here it got cancelled, the height. And then it says one has radius 10 centimeters and the other has 4 times its volume. Other has 4 times its volume. From my understanding, it should be that. I'm not sure. Anyways. So do you understand how to work out this question? So understand how much. Anyways. Okay. So since we are running out of time today, I will do one more shape and then we will have to do one puzzle because there is no time. So I'll have to continue it next class, inshallah. Okay, so we're going to just do prism, the shape, and then we're going to do one puzzle. Okay, so prism is a square-based prism, okay? So square-based prism means it's going to look something like this. So you basically have a square under, and then you have 4 separate triangles. So remember, since it's a square, all 4 sides are equal. All 4 sides are equal. Let's say it's A. All 4 sides are equal. And obviously, the perpendicular height is also going to be equal because it all reaches to one point. So you don't have to worry about different lengths here. So therefore, you're going to have area of a square plus 4 times area of triangle. Area of triangle. So that's going to be, so area of a square is it's base into breadth into length, but here both are same. So therefore, the lengths are same in a square. So therefore, it's a squared plus 4. So let's say this is h plus 4 into half into base into height. So here you can simplify this. Shortcut, it becomes 2. Therefore, it's a squared plus 2ah. Did everyone understand how we got this? The area of a pyramid. So in a pyramid, you have one square. So you get the area of a square. And then you have four same triangles, which has the same base and same height. So then you simply multiply half into base into height times 4 for you to get the area of all the rectangles. And then add the area of the square plus the area of the triangle, you get the total area of a pyramid. Did all of you understand this? Yeah. Here. So again here, what are your unknown terms? It's your base and it's your height. Here the base and the height. So again, they can give you this question in many different ways. So let's say, okay. So they have given it to you like this. So they're saying this is another important thing that you have to know based on the length is the length that you take is the slanted length. So here, if you take this figure like this, it's this length here. So not the perpendicular length which goes straight down. It's not this length. It's the length along the shape itself. So what they can do is they can ask you to find it. So they'll give you this as L, this as 8, and this as 12. So since it's a square, this means 12. So now you will have to use your Pythagoras theorem. So what's the Pythagoras theorem? So it's a right angular triangle. So the hypotenuse squared is equals to the square of the other two sides. So this becomes 6 here. So 6 squared plus 8 squared is equals to L squared. 36 plus 64 is equals to L squared. 100 is equals to L squared. Therefore, L is equals to centimeters. Now you can find the area of the triangles and the square. So the square is going to be 12 into 12, which is 140 centimeters squared. And the triangles are going to be 4 into half into the base, which is 12, into the height, which is 10. So this two gets cancelled. 120 into 2 is 240. So now the total height is 240 plus 144. Gives you 384 centimeter square. Is that understood? So this is one way that I can give you this question. They'll ask you to find the length by using the Pythagoras theorem. So remember here the length that you take is this slanted length when you're calculating the area of a triangle. Okay. So then I'll jump into the volume of the same shape. Okay. So the volume is going to be okay. So here this is a comparison base for the pyramid. It is known that the volume of a pyramid times the volume of a pyramid times 3 is equals to the volume of a cuboid. So what's a cuboid? It's a rectangle one. So same thing, instead, like a prism is triangular, a cuboid is something like this. That's a cuboid. So the volume of a cuboid, so this is where you have to memorize this equation. There's no way for you to understand it exactly. Volume of a pyramid is times 3 of volume of a cuboid. So therefore, the volume of a cuboid is going to be, so here this 3 when you take it to the other side becomes 1/3. Volume of a cuboid is what? Area of the base into the height. It's area of a square into the height. So area of square is a square into h. Therefore, it's 1/3 a square h. So this equation you have to memorize. There is no other way for you to remember it unless you remember this. But then I think it's still better for you to memorize it. But they'll give you this in your paper too. They'll give you it, so you don't have to worry about it much. But in case, it's always best to know. So the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 a squared h. Did everyone understand that? Okay. Mm, yeah. So again here a square h. So here the height that you take is the perpendicular height. So previously, remember when finding the area, so remember we took it like this. Okay, when finding the area, remember we took this slanted height, the one along the shape, along the triangle for you to find the height. But in volume, you take the perpendicular height, the one in the middle. So if they give you this height and they have given you this base length, you can't use this height. If you use this height, it's wrong. You have to find using Pythagoras theorem the height of this. So if this part is a, then a square plus x square is equals to L square. So taking this as x, you have to find it separately. So don't confuse the two. For area, you want this height, this one, the one along the shape. For volume, you need the one which goes right in the middle. Okay. So we'll finish off the class by doing the past paper based on this shape as well as another shape. Okay, so since we don't have time to do the other shapes, so we have two more shapes, which is sphere and cone, which also come in your past paper in the volume part. Since there's no time for me to do all three, I'll do one with cylinder and a pyramid. Okay, so if you all have your past paper, get into the 2024 past paper. So 2024. Okay, so question number 9. Okay, let me just get the question. Okay, so nine small metal right pyramids. Okay, 9 small metal right pyramids, each square base of side length A. Okay, so we have pyramid. So you know what's a pyramid? We just learned. Okay, and they're saying the base is A. We have times 9 of this. So base length is 8, height is 2A. So remember, here they use volume. So the height that they refer to is the middle one. So I'll write the base is equals to A, height is equals to 2A. Okay. And then they are saying a solid right circular cylinder. So cylinder of base R, radius R, and height is 3R. Height is 3R, made without any wastage of metal. Okay. So they're saying these 9 metal pyramids have been melted and they have been made into a cylinder without wasting. They're asking you to show A cube. A cube is equals to pi over 2 R cube. They're asking you to show that. So first, let's say what was the volume of a pyramid? It's 1/3 A squared H. What is A squared? The base. So we have the base here as A. So that's fine. 1/3 A squared. But here the height is 2A. So into 2 a. So you can simplify this and write it as 2a into a square, a cube over 3. Did everyone understand how I got this? Okay, I'm hoping everyone understood how I got this. So that we found using the volume of the pyramid. Next, we have to find the volume of a cylinder. So volume of a cylinder is what? Pi r squared h. The area of the circle into the height. So pi r squared is fine. Here it's r itself. But the height is now 3r. So into 3r. So now you can write it as 3 pi r cubed. So now they have said 9 of this, 9 pyramids have been melted into this. So times 9 of this have been made into this, into a cylinder. So therefore, 9 into 2a cube over 3 is going to be equals to 3 pi r cube. Okay, so here we have to subject a cube. Okay. So here you can simplify. This 3 goes. Now let's bring the numbers to the other side. A cube is equals to 3 pi r cube over this 2 and 3 goes down. So 3 into 2. So now you'll notice 3 gets cancelled. Then you are getting a cube is equals to pi r cube over 2, which is what they have given us. Yeah, pi r cube over 2. So here basically what we did was we used the volume equation that we know and we converted it using the values that they have given. So here they haven't given values, they have given you letters. And then they're saying 9 times of this. So that means 9 times the volume of this is going to be equals to this. So then you equate the volumes and you subject whatever is necessary. Did everyone understand this? Okay. Okay, so then the next part is using logarithms. You'll have to work out the value. So they are saying, so a cube is equals to pi r cube over 2. And they are telling us to take pi as 3.14 into r cube. They're saying r is 1.725. So these values they have given you over 2. So again, these values you will have to find in the logarithm table. So here you don't have to change the position because all of these, the point is after the first number. So you will just have to go through your log tables and find. So first 2 numbers you look from this side. So here 31 will be there. That means it's 3.1. And you look at 4 from this side and you find that value. So that is going to be your 3.14 value in terms of log. So then log of a cube is going to be log of, so the answer is 1.57. And remember, cube in logarithm form means it's multiplication. And square root means it's division. So 3 log, here the answer is 1.725. Over, when you calculate 2, yeah. Okay, so the final answer, you can divide it later. So we'll move on like this. Okay, and then you'll find the log value. It's going to be 0.1959 plus 3 into, so 3 into 0.367. Okay, so this is based on logarithms. You'll have to find in the book. And then when you simplify it, your final answer here, you're getting it as 0.9060. So this is in logarithm form. So we want, so a cube antilog of 0.9060. So you'll have to search this value inside your logarithm book and find the table value. And here you will get it as 0.53. So rounding it off to 8, your a value cube is equals to 8. So a is equals to square cube of 8. So a is equals to 2. Okay, so that's not the last part. So we found the value of a. So the last part of the question is, it says from a solid cuboid with a square cross section of side length a and height 2a, solid cuboid. So cuboid is something like this. Something like this. They are saying the base square cross section side length a, and this is 2a. If one small pyramid with the above mentioned measurements is cut and removed, find the volume of metal that is remaining. Okay, so volume of a cuboid is what? A squared into 2a. So a squared is a into a here. A squared into 2a, that means 2a cubed. So the remaining volume is going to be, so previously we found the volume of uh, of a pyramid. We found the volume, right? 1/3 2a cubed. We found it previously. So when you remove one of this from here, they're asking you the remaining. So that's going to be 2a cubed minus 1/3 2a cubed. So remember, this is fraction. So whenever you have fractions, you have to make sure the denominators are the same. So here I have to multiply both up and down by 3. So therefore 3 into 2, 6a cubed minus 2a cubed over 3. So that is 6 minus 2 is 4a cubed over 3. So we found the value of a, which is 2. So 4 over 3 into 2 cubed. So that is 4 over 3 into 8. So 4 into 8, 32 divided by 3. So you can write it as an improper fraction or decimal. Anything is fine. So as an improper fraction is 10^2/3 centimeters. So did everyone understand this past paper question? So here they've done it in 3 different parts. So one is equating the volumes. The second is the logarithm parts to find the value. And then they're bringing in another shape for you to subtract volumes and then get a final answer. So hopefully everyone understood this class. So we'll be continuing the other shapes in the next class, inshallah, and working on more past papers before moving on to another past paper question. So then that's it for today. We'll be ending the class now. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and bye everyone.